Starting the top, we're going to work with that middle loop that we did the slip stitch to, and you get your 2 strands held together. And I know my lighting is never ever good, and you're going to keep about a 4-inch tail, and then you're going to pull both the strands through the top loop on that stitch, then chain 1, and so you have a chain 1, and then working around you can pull that loop up and actually wind that tail in, so you don't have to worry about it as you go around. So I'm going to work that tail in right there. So after we get a loop, we're in a little bit of lighting. Get your loop pulled up, and then we're going to work on the inner side of the zipper around to the outer side and slip stitch, and we're just going to single crochet around in each stitch using that top loop. So get started doing those single crochets around using that top loop. Working around that first single crochet row. And I loosen my thread. Work all the way around. Here at the front of the toe, you might need to add 2 single crochets right at that toe there, because that was pretty tight. And I remember it was like that on the other boot too. So right in the curve, sometimes you might need to add 2 and or add 1 in the stitch, working with that top loop only. Okay, let's see if I need to add 1 there. See, I need to go back and add a stitch there, because that's pulling that too tight. Okay. So after completing 2 complete rounds around, this is my 3rd row round. Next to the base of the big toe and the little toe, you'll decrease 1 stitch on either side on that 3rd row. Don't decrease any at the beginning, and then just complete your round. And that's on the 3rd row. So finish up your 3rd row. I'll see you on the 4th row. Okay, I'm on the 4th row, and I've done about 20 single crochets up, and I'm about to get ready to decrease on the 4th row, and it's going to be near the front area. Now the reason why I just kind of give you visuals to decrease in these areas on the 3rd row next to the big toe and the little toe. Decrease 1 on the 3rd row, but it's about 20 stitches as well to go down, and then about 6 across, and so on that 3rd row. And then on the 4th row I haven't decreased any, but I see a lot of stitches right there on that front toe, and so I'm going to decrease after the 20th stitch. I'm going to decrease 1 single crochet, because you don't want to put too many decreases, because it'll leave a gap unless you decrease and make that a pattern and stay in the same area. And so you can see like little ventilation patterns if you continue to decrease in with the same stitches. Okay, and then I did a single crochet and another single crochet. Did I get that whole, all of it? No, I didn't get all the thread. So I'm going to pull that through again. So that's the second single crochet. Then I'm going to do a third single crochet on that toe area. Got to pull that out. Keep leaving one of the threads behind. You got to remember get both of those threads. So there's my third single crochet. And then I'm going to do a fourth single crochet. And then I'm going to do a decrease right here. Okay, and then I'm just going to single crochet all the way around. Okay, starting the fifth round, I've done, I believe, 19 single crochets around. And then right at the beginning of the toe, I'm going to decrease here. And then single crochet back and slip stitch on the fifth round. So I'll probably do the same thing on the sixth round. And actually there's about 10 rounds before we get to beginning the upper part, but you'll see that when we get to it. Okay, I'm going to decrease right there in that center, fifth round. Single decrease right at the toe. We don't want a lot of gaps. Yeah, let me do that again. Okay, and I'm going to decrease right next to it. So that's 2 decreases on the fifth round. Okay, a single crochet and slip stitch. We'll begin the sixth round. Okay, so we're going to make our last double crochet at the end of our 12th round, and this is the last double crochet. Okay, and before we complete that double crochet, bring in and change our yarn to the white yarn if you're using white, and if you're using the same color, then that's just fine. But we're going to bring your loop up, and then we're going to go over, and then we're going to slip stitch into the first double crochet at the beginning of the round. Okay, we're going to slip stitch that over, and then we're going to chain 1. Okay, now what I do is I kind of pull my thread up a little, and then I take those white tails, and then I'm going to weave those in so that I won't have to hold them on my work. Okay, once I get my white thread weaved in, I'm gonna start in the first stitch, I'm gonna insert my needle in right with the chain 1 on top of the top thread, back behind the back thread, pull through, and make my single crochet. Okay, and then the next stitch, insert the needle in, top of the thread, behind the next one, pull through, keep your tension on you with your finger. Let me just make sure I have the right stitch. Yes, insert my needle in, top, and then back behind, pull through, and then make my single crochet. And then I always kind of pull my loops. Okay, and then insert the needle in the next stitch, top of the thread, behind the next one, and pull through. And then you're going to continue that all the way around, getting your loop stitches going. And oops, let me do that one again. Like I said, you have to get a feel for it before you get your rhythm going, and then after a while, once you get going, you'll get a rhythm. And so then you go ahead and you complete your single crochet loops all the way around, and then you're gonna slip stitch here, and well, you're gonna make your last single crochet, but before you pull the thread through, you're gonna bring your red thread back up, so then you can do your row of double crochets. Okay, I'll see you at that point. So after my first round of loops, I'm gonna go in with that same stitch and make another, the last one, and so I'm adding one to that last one, and then actually I'm not supposed to do that. And then I'm gonna bring up my contrasting color, and I'm gonna finish off my single crochet with the contrasting color, if I can get my fingers right here. I'm gonna pull that through. Then I'm gonna slip stitch over to the first stitch, and slip stitch, and then I'm going to chain 2, and then I'm going to start my single crochets. I'm sorry, my double crochet round. Okay, now this is round I believe 14, and so we're going to start widening the boot here, so after the first one, and then I'm going to add another double crochet on this side right here, adding a double crochet, and then I'm going to double crochet around in each one except for the next one on this side, the last stitch. I'm going to add 2, and I'm going to do that on each round, and I'm going to do 8 rounds of loops and 8 rounds of double crochets, and I'm going to have a total of 16 rounds to match the other boot. And then in the end, you just pull all of these and get them tight after each row, and then you clip them. And so, and if you have a wider calf or really big calves, I have small calves, you can add and in the next stitch an additional see, I added 2 double crochets here, and then I would do 1, and then I would add 2 more here if I was widening the boot, if I had large calves like some people have. You can go a couple of rows and measure it, the length around, and measure your calf or the calves that you are going to make the boot for, to make sure that you have the boot is wide enough. And so you're going to do that 8 rows of loops and 8 rows, or your choice, to the height that you desire. And these boots are about halfway my leg. They're not to the knee. I think they're cuter that way. And I'm just going to finish this round and then start my other loop round. And we'll meet back up at the finished product.